Hello, and welcome to the video. My name is Barry, but Justice is fine too. So, I've seen this trend going around where you play the clan gen game and draw your clan every endgame year, and I wanted to do it too. I'm not sure who the first person to do this was, but if you know who it is, then please tell me so I can credit them. The first person I saw do it, and who inspired me to make this, was Noiko Arts. I hope I pronounced that right. But I'm not sure if they did it first. I'm actually going to do this with 4 clans, but one of them is going to have to wait a bit longer because I want to make it with the cool settings. FireflyClan is going to have different rules than the others because I made it on a very old version. I'm not even joking, I made it on version 0.2, so a lot of the functions are different. But anyway, the rules for this clan are: 1. The leader can only get all 9 lives if there are 9 cats in StarClan. 2. I'll be picking mates based on their interactions, since the romance bar doesn't exist in this version. 3. The starting cats can only be related if they look very similar. I'm doing this because there are 2 cats in the clan that just look too similar not to be related, but it's harder to keep track of families because the game doesn't register them as related. 4. Unmated cats can have kits, but to avoid overpopulation, this option will only be toggled on for 6 moons each year. 5. Same-sex couples can have kids. 6. I'll be playing 2 moons into the future to see if any cats are expecting kits. 7. Kits must be drawn as genetically accurate as possible. Well, as possible as my knowledge of cat genetics will let me. I'm not sure how gold, silver, and wideband genes work, so I'll probably use them as a different gene. 8. Since this is an older version, I'll have to roll a die to see if any cats identify as something other than their birth gender. 6. If the clan gets too big, then I'll roll a die to see if loners and kitty pets can join. 10. Cats cannot have the same prefix unless there's a reason for them to have the same prefix. 11. All warriors must go on patrol unless they are injured or nursing kits. 12. All apprentices must go on patrol with their mentors unless they are unavailable. And lastly, 13. When a cat gets a scar, I'm going to randomize the severity of it. Now, let's go over the clan lore. A she-cat named Scorchfur used to be a warrior in RavenClan, but was taken by Two Legs. She managed to escape, and while she was trying to find her way home, she came across some loners and kitty pets who wanted to join one of the clans, but didn't know how to ask. So she brought them all together to make their own clan. She taught them about StarClan and the warrior code, and helped them pick a name for the clan. When it was time to pick a leader, all the cats wanted her to lead them. However, she could not be the leader, seeing as she still wanted to return to her own clan. So she picked a different cat to be leader, and let them choose their deputy. Scorchfur took the soon-to-be leader and the medicine cat to a place called the Starflower Field, and told the soon-to-be leader to touch the tombstone in the middle of the field with their nose. Unfortunately, before they could make it to the stone, they were attacked by a dog. Scorchfur gave her life to protect the other cats, but this unfortunately means that she was never able to make it back to RavenClan. And that is how FireflyClan was founded. Now we can go into more specific details about Scorchfur. Scorchfur is a white and black speckled she-cat with medium-length fur and yellow eyes. Scorchfur died at the age of 73 moons. She is insecure and a good speaker. She also gave the leader a life for perseverance. Scorchfur was the auto-generated guide that the game gave me, and it took me a while to come up with how she would be important to the clan. But I like the idea that I came up with. Next is Rabbitkit, a white and gray tom with medium-length fur and green eyes. Rabbitkit died at the age of 5 moons due to an unknown disease. He is also nervous. I was a little sad that he died right before he became an apprentice, but I couldn't really do anything about it. But what made it worse is that when I looked at his profile on the day that he died, it said that he was scared about something, which I interpreted as he was scared to die. Now we can move on to the living cats. First is the leader, Lightstar, formerly known as Lightwhisper. Lightstar is described as a mostly white, red-speckled she-cat. She has medium-length fur and pale green eyes. She is currently 55 moons old. She is righteous and a good hunter. She got a scar on her back from fighting a rogue. Lightstar isn't very happy with how things are going. Most of the cats in the clan don't seem to trust each other. It's not as bad as it was at the start of the year, but she wishes that the clan could just get along. Even her own kit is having trouble getting along with the others. Lightstar wants to make Scorchfur proud, but she wonders if she'll ever be able to do that. Lightstar kind of regrets her choice as deputy, seeing as they won't even bother to help the other cats get along. In fact, Lightstar thinks they're just making it worse. Also, I did add something special to this world for the leaders. Every year on the 5th moon, a two-leg comes and puts flowers by the tombstone. It is said that if there's a flower there when the new leader arrives, the type of flower would determine how their reign as leader will be. Roses mean that they will be an amazing leader. Lilies and daisies mean that they will have to deal with many hardships, but they will learn from the things they face and become a better leader. Lilacs mean that the clan is doomed to face disaster, and they will be powerless to stop it. Poppies mean that they will be a ruthless and cruel leader. If there are multiple types of flowers, it means the same thing as lilacs. However, unlike lilacs, the clan will come out much stronger than before. The fresher the flower, the stronger its effects will be. All leaders are required to wear their flower somewhere on their pelt. How many they wear is up to them, but they do have to make sure they leave some behind. Now let's move on to Briarbird, a short-haired, orange-speckled she-cat with green eyes. She is fierce and extremely smart, though it doesn't seem that way most of the time. She is 33 moons old. She may be deputy, but it seems like she would rather start fights with the other cats than help the clan. Briarbird is good at making battle strategies, and she can easily tell how to take down her opponent, though actually going through with those plans is a lot harder. She also isn't very good at communicating, but somehow she managed to gain a best friend who we'll go over later. But overall, there isn't much about her to talk about. Next is the clan's first medicine cat, Wetspirit, a blue tom with long fur and yellow eyes. He is 66 moons old, and he is insecure and a good fighter. I just want to say that I love the idea of a medicine cat being good at fighting. I think it's cool to be able to help heal cats and know how to fight. Wetspirit wanted to join a clan because he wanted a safer place for his son to grow up, but after what happened a few moons ago, Wetspirit realized that the clan isn't as safe as he thought it was going to be. He hates his son's mentor for letting it happen. If it were up to him, she would never have an apprentice ever again. Next is the second medicine cat, the one with the best name, Stormfire. Stormfire is a 13-moon-old brown she-cat, with medium-length fur and blue eyes. She is calm and an excellent speaker. Technically, she wasn't supposed to be a medicine cat until Wetspirit died, since the clan is so small, but Stormfire was too cool of a name for me to not use right away. I like to imagine that she's kind of flirty with the cats she gets along with, but she isn't actually interested in any of them. And of course, there are also quite a few cats that she's suspicious of. Why she's suspicious of them? Well, no one really knows. She just has those cats that she doesn't trust. Now, onto the warriors. First is Pouncefoot, and I think he took the longest to draw out of all of these cats. I really love his design though. Anyways, Pouncefoot is a white and red tabby tom with short fur and green eyes. He's 102 moons old. He is playful and a great speaker. For some reason, a few of the other cats don't trust him, even though he hasn't done anything suspicious. He's excited to see his apprentice become a warrior next moon. I kind of wish that I made him deputy instead of Briarbird. I think Lightstar wishes she chose him too, but I want to give Briarbird some more time to shine before I decide if I want to demote her or not. Plus, he's Briarbird's best friend, so I think he'd feel bad for taking her position. Also, I'd like to point out that I had to make his little symbol thing into a custom brush just so I would be able to draw him again. Next is Emberpelt, a medium-haired orange pseudo-tabby tom, with a small amount of white on his belly, a white paw, and a white-tipped tail. He also has green eyes. Emberpelt is an 86-moon-old former loner who is insecure. He actually joined the clan on the very first moon, so he might as well have been a founder. He is mates with Cherrydusk, who we'll go over next. I'm thinking about giving them the ship name Campfire because of Ember and Dusk, but I'll probably put up a poll, so be on the lookout for that. Emberpelt is the father of two kits, one of them being Rabbitkit. Both Emberpelt and Cherrydusk are orange, so technically Rabbitkit shouldn't have any black on him. But Rabbitkit and his sister were born before Emberpelt and Cherrydusk became mates, so the game doesn't count Cherrydusk as his mother. Because of that, I'm letting Rabbitkit keep his black pelt. Emberpelt was really upset at the death of his son, but thankfully Cherrydusk was there to help him cope. The two of them have had many arguments, but those arguments actually helped them to understand each other better and grow closer. Emberpelt was there when Wetspirit's son was injured. He feels bad for not paying attention, and he wishes that he could have helped more. Cherrydusk is a medium-haired, orange pseudo-tabby and white she-cat, with yellow eyes. She is 82 moons old. Cherrydusk is troublesome and a fantastic hunter. She is the one who mentored Wetspirit's son, and she feels responsible for what happened. If only she paid more attention, she could have stopped him, but it's too late now. She knows she can't beat herself up over what happened. The only thing she can do now is try to help him. Cherrydusk does feel comfort knowing that Wetspirit's son doesn't blame her for what happened, even though his father wouldn't even look at her. Cherrydusk was a bit sad when Emberpelt brought his kiss to the clan. She knew that this meant he had a mate outside of the clan, but to her surprise, he confessed his feelings towards her 3 months later. And they've been mates ever since. Cherrydusk has been doing her best to help comfort Emberpelt and his daughter after Rabbitkit's death. Next is Smokedusk, a 20-moon-old gray tom, with long fur and hazel eyes. He is fierce and an excellent fighter. Smokedusk used to be Briarbird's apprentice. When he was an apprentice, he overheard Wetspirit telling Lightstar about a vision. Smokedusk couldn't understand most of it, but he could tell that it was about him, though nothing ever happened to him that seemed prophecy-worthy. A few moons ago, Smokedusk was given a vision from StarClan. He didn't understand what it was, but he was sure that it wasn't important. But it turns out that he was wrong about the vision not meaning anything. After Wetspirit's son was badly injured, Smokedusk realized that this is what he saw in his vision. He later went up to Wetspirit and apologized for not telling him about his vision, and not doing anything to prevent it from happening. Wetspirit said that it wasn't his fault, and that the only cat to blame is Cherrydusk. Hearing those words made Smokedusk feel worse, as he knew now that Wetspirit and Cherrydusk would never be able to get along anymore, and it was all his fault. I feel pretty bad for Smokedusk. He did not have a good year. I think that even though he's been doing his best to prove to himself that he's still a good warrior, he'll always think that it's his fault for what happened, and I don't think he'll ever get over it. Next is Scorchstrike, a medium-haired black tom with white on his chest, a white paw, white tipped tail, and hazel eyes. He is 16 moons old. He is ambitious and a fantastic hunter. He was Emberpelt's apprentice. Not much has happened with Scorchstrike. All that he did this year was meet a few RavenClan cats on patrol, come across some two-legs, and get into a few small fights with Smokedusk and Stormfire. But other than that, he's just kind of there. I'm hoping he'll be a bit more interesting next year. Next is Lightstar's kit, Sneezepaw, a short-haired, orange-speckled tom with a small amount of white. No one knows who Sneezepaw's father is. Sneezepaw is 11 months old and is currently questioning their gender identity. They are also insecure. Sneezepaw is Pouncefoot's apprentice. Sneezepaw wanted to be a medicine cat, but since Stormfire was already training with Wetspirit, they decided to wait. But by the time Stormfire finished training, Sneezepaw was 10 moons old, and they felt like they were too old to switch. Not to mention, the clan was nowhere near big enough for 3 medicine cats. Sneezepaw felt like they weren't good enough to be a warrior, seeing as they couldn't even catch a single thing on their first hunting patrol. They may not have been able to be a medicine cat, but they can still take care of other cats. The cat he helps most often is Wetspirit's son. Sneezepaw spends a lot of time making sure he's comfortable and has everything he needs. I wanted to draw them together, but I decided not to, since I want to make sure everyone is drawn in the right spots for their first year. Sneezepaw's sprite doesn't actually have any white on it, but since Lightstar has so much white on her, Sneezepaw has to have at least a small amount of white. Next is Flamepaw, an 8-moon-old former loner who was cold. Flamepaw is a long-haired, gray and white tom with dark blue eyes. Flamepaw didn't want to join a clan, but he knew it would be safer. Flamepaw has no intention to make friends here. He hates having Smokedusk as a mentor. Smokedusk is always whining about how some big accident happened and how it's all his fault, and yet he still tries to boss Flamepaw around. Being in the clan is only a small step up from joining the Two Legs, because at least here he can still keep his claws. He heard stories about kitty pets who had their claws taken away from them, and there was no way Flamepaw was joining the Two Legs after hearing about that. Flamepaw has only been in the clan for 1 moon, so he might warm up to the other cats, but for now, he's good with being the cat equivalent of an angsty teen. The last apprentice we have is Blackpaw, a mostly white, black and orange pseudo-tabby calico she-cat, with medium-length fur and green eyes. Blackpaw is Emberpelt's other kit, and just like Rabbitkit, she gets to keep her black coloring because we don't know who her mother is. Blackpaw just turned 6 moons old, and she is calm, and she is Lightstar's apprentice. And while she was honored to train with the leader, she can't really enjoy it knowing that her brother died right before their apprentice ceremony. She doesn't want the other cats to worry about her or give her pity. She just wants to be able to grieve without anyone asking if she's okay. Blackpaw knows that she'll see her brother again in StarClan someday, but she doesn't know if she can survive that long without him. Besides her brother dying, not much has happened to Blackpaw. There's no one in the nursery, so we can move on to the Elder's Den. The only cat in the den currently isn't even that old. In fact, he's only 13 moons old. Flowerbrook is Wetspirit's son. He has blue, medium-length fur and hazel eyes, and he is strict. He was hit by a monster at the age of 9 moons. He lost his right eye and was blinded in the other. Only one of his legs still work, so he has to get help from the other cats whenever he needs something. I feel really bad for whoever has to take him to the dirt place, which I believe is where they go to the bathroom. Flowerbrook is really sad that he never got to finish his training, and feels worse knowing that his father and Cherrydusk don't get along anymore because of what happened. He wishes that other cats would stop blaming themselves for what happened. It wasn't anybody's fault but his own. He was the one who tried to run across the Thunder Path without checking for monsters first. Flowerbrook knows that he can't change the past, and that he has to move on from it. And while he's sad that he'll never be a warrior, he's grateful to have such wonderful claymates who are willing to help him with whatever he needs. And thanks to Sneezepaw, he never feels lonely. Since he isn't going on patrols anymore, Flowerbrook has had a lot of time to think about his beliefs and learn more about himself. It's true that Flowerbrook's life will never be the same, but maybe that's a good thing. And that's all of the cats. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to tell me if there's anything I can try to improve on to make the next video better. Also, let me know who your favorite cat is. If you would like to see more content from me, please subscribe and hit the bell because I don't have an upload schedule yet. Thanks for watching, goodbye.